Hey folks, we're here once again. Welcome back to another video. Hope you enjoyed last weekend's video of Gotham Season 4, my favorite thoughts on those episodes of that. That is my second least favorite season of Gotham. But anyway guys, welcome back to another Gotham video, another Batman video, and today I'm finishing up Gotham and finishing up Phase 2 of my Batman Marathon, ending with the final season of Gotham, and this video is called my thoughts / favorite episodes of the 5th and final season of Gotham, or Season 5 if you will. I'll put final season in the title as well of the video. Season 5 of Gotham, which is the final season, the end of Gotham. Yeah, which, I do like this season. It's pretty short. It's not the longest. It's only 12 episodes, so it's not that long. It only took me 2 days, yesterday and today. Just didn't take me very long to finish this. But it's a good season. I like the ending. I think it ended pretty well. There are some issues still that I have with it. It's not perfect, but for what it was, it's a good ending to Gotham. I don't really feel like they need to keep on continuing with it. I think it ended, for me, in my opinion, at the end, it ended on a high note, to a T with the ending and stuff. But, you didn't really need any more of Gotham after this. So they were pretty smart to, end this with Season 5. And anyway, let me go to my other phone, which I need to plug this one up. I always forget. I just said what I thought of the season right now. But I do enjoy the season. Like I said, there's some issues with it, but like I said, a good ending. So anyway, I'll get into what Gotham Season 5 is about, the plot synopsis, then I'll give you my favorite episode, so this video won't be 2 hours or anything like that. Okay. Alright. Just want to make sure the volume is working. You guys can see me well. Well, it's been time change this week since last weekend, as it gets a lot darker sooner here. So, Georgia's been getting. But with Gotham season, but anyway, back to the video. Gotham Season 5. I'm sorry, I blabber on too much. But Gotham Season 5. What this season is about is that in the 5th and final season of Gotham, Gordon and his allies attempt to restore order in Gotham after what Ra's and Jerome did. Burned down the bridges. Gotham has become a no man's land. Nessa Al Ghul, who is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, seeks revenge for her father's death. Eduardo Dorrance takes control of the city's military presence, and Jeremiah hatches a scheme to torment Bruce and cement their bond as hated enemies. A decade later, and Aurora also ends up becoming Bane, so we have Bane in this season. A decade later, Bruce returns to Gotham as a cloaked vigilante, of course Batman, pursued by Gordon, who is now the commissioner of the GCPD. Jeremiah escapes from Arkham and orchestrates a plot to draw Bruce out. After Jeremiah's defeat, Gordon activates a searchlight atop the Gotham City Police Department as a vigilante whom Gordon calls a friend from afar. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and get into my favorite episodes of Gotham Season 5, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright. First favorite episode is Year Zero. This pretty much opens up, it's been 3 months since the bridges blew. A lot of people have left the city, people that have stayed. The government is refusing help, and Gordon has been calling the governor for help. And they tell him, we'll be there for you, but need help. And, the governor just is basically saying, screw you, we're not helping you, basically kind of to them. And Gordon realizes that they're on their own. They're looking after these people. You realize some of the villains. Penguin has City Hall. He's dealing weapons. That Barbara and Tabitha, who is, seeking revenge, on Penguin for murdering Butch, are running the clubs. Scarecrow has his own little gang. Trying to put fear in the city. And Mr. Freeze and Firefly, you don't see them in the season at all. They're just, away from Gotham, I guess you can say, far north, I think Gordon says. And GCPD, well, with Jim being commissioner now, they have to protect these people, these civilians, and they're protecting them from them fighting. Gordon, tries to keep them calm as best he can. And Gotham is considered off limits, so we can't even write a bow off Gotham without being blown up. It's refugees, basically, just for safety. They have supplies in there, and Scarecrow sneaks in there, and I like that Scarecrow, him and Gordon have a fight, and Scarecrow's like, I wonder what you fear now, Gordon, and Gordon's like, not you, and him and Scarecrow fight. Scarecrow's got his hammer or whatever, his axe, whatever you want to call it, trying to gut up at Gordon, but Gordon beats him, or, well, basically there's like a, event goes off or whatever, and Scarecrow just escapes. Bruce, meanwhile, is, at the hospital with Selina. Selina even tries to kill herself because she's depressed, she's having these nightmares about what Jeremiah did, and the doctor says it'll take a while to do this surgery for her, and this lady tells him they can't help her. This nurse tells him they can't help her. You need to go see the witch. The witch can help her. Oh yeah, well they steal the food and medicine. So Bruce just has to help by illegally flying supplies in the city from his company. And the plane comes, but it gets blown up, and there's these supplies, and people are fighting for it. Penguin sees his opportunity, so Penguin goes there. He didn't blow it down, but he wants to go see what he can get. And these people want these gangs with the territory, so Penguin just has these men killed, and then, Gordon shows up and tells Penguin to step out of the way. Penguin's like, no, Penguin, you and your officers just go away. That's what Penguin says. Leave me alone. I will kill you, and they're outgunned, as Harvey tells Jim, and they really don't have much bullets, much ammo, and Penguin's men do, but you hear one of Penguin's men gets shot with a couple arrows, and it's Tabitha, who is dead set on revenge, and she sneaks up on Penguin, like shouting Penguin, and she's like, you murdered Butch, and he's like this, but you murdered my mother, she's like, he was your friend, well, you murdered my mother, his blood is on your hands, and she's like, gee, Penguin, shut up and die, and Penguin has something for he's got this kind of equipment on, and the bullet doesn't work, so Penguin laughs, pulls out this knife from his foot, and he's on Tabitha, he's like this, say hello to Butch, and stabs Tabitha, kills her, and Barbara shows up, and Tabitha's last words before she dies like, Barbara don't, and then falls to her death, and just drops dead, and Barbara just starts shooting at him. She gets shot by Penguin, and Penguin's like, can we move past this little Butch and Tabitha thing? No, I'm going to kill you and gut you up, little man. And Penguin knocks her out, and Penguin gets shot in the leg by Gordon. They get the equipment like, what I thought was hilarious, though, in this though, and he still has Mr. Penguin for him, and he has a bulldog named Edward, and I like that when Penguin's getting the blood out, he's like this, thought that was funny. It's like, free ammunition to anybody who brings me the head of Jim Gordon. By the way, Bruce sneaks around and gives them more ammo. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Bruce in here half the time, trying to fight or be scary. He does some of the Batman stuff, which again, I do not buy Bruce at this point being a badass. I've never bought that in this last season 4 of this season. Him kicking ass and all that stuff. I just don't buy it. But that's just me. Enigma, suffers from these blackouts. He wakes up on top of a building, and he's thinking Enigma is back in his mind. His other personality, he's still the Riddler, and he's trying to do these recordings. It's been 3 months. In these 3 months, he's been having these blackouts and stuff. So Enigma's trying to, find out trying to find out what's happening to him. And since Linda goes for surgery, since it's not working, the nurse comes to Bruce saying she needs the doctor, and Bruce is like, the witch, and Bruce is like, tell me where to find this witch, and the episode ends there. So that was U0. Another favorite of mine is called Trespassers. Bruce begins to hunt down the witch and discovers her to be, of course, Ivy Pepper. And, Ivy, who's now played by Peyton List, these men have her claiming that, she's been killing them with plants and stuff. And he's asking Ivy for help. Does she have, some kind of medicine to help her? He's like, okay, Ivy, if you help me, I'll protect you from these men. But you find out Ivy really is a psycho killer. We already know that, of course. But she just cuts and stabs these guys. You think she's going to kill Bruce, but she tells Bruce, that she's got another, that, she doesn't care if Selena died because she blames Selena in season 4 when she tried to, kill everybody with plants and had that Lazarus serum or whatever that could do it, and Selena destroyed it. But she decided to help Selena, give her this type of medicine or whatever. It does heal Selena's spine. Her spine after getting shot because she'd be in a wheelchair for her life, but she kind of have a seizure or whatever. But Selena ends up better. She's like, Bruce, I'm okay. And she gives Bruce a hug. And you see when her eyes turn like big eyes of a cat. So you can tell that she's going to go through some changes in this season. It's a seed that she eats that changes her. Gordon Bullock, are still trying to talk to the people, starting with their, they keep on trying to contact for help. This child comes to them, this little boy asking for help, and you find out that these these bad guys are, of course, making these little kids, teenagers, digging holes or whatever. And Gordon comes to confront them. They say, is that Jim Gordon? Penguin's got a bounty on their head. They try to kill Jim Gordon, but Gordon is able to, stop them. Even gets, deceive the kids. I like it though when Harvey Bullock, gets smart with the bad guy, head leader. He's like, well, it would be a cop or be a sexy nurse, so I chose this instead. I thought that was funny. This Halloween gang tries to kill them, so they're on the run with these kids. But Jim and Gordon and Bullock end up in this house that is pretty creepy and haunted. This lady who wears this mask, and it's something out of a horror movie because they sneak around. Jim sees this kid talking to him that this lady's kidnapped him after the bridges went down, that, she's like his mother or whatever. Bullock, comes to his kitchen, sees this table, he sees body parts, like fingers and toes and teeth and arms and legs all over the place. Yeah, that this lady has been cutting up people and killing them, and he's just freaked out. He's like, Jim, let's get the hell out of here. But the boy that Jim talks to locks them in the closet, and this lady tries to attack them. They eventually able to get her down, and they talk to her. They, to get the mask off her face, and she tells them, "I'm helping them. I'm doing this." And she, Gordon has her down, but she kicks Gordon in the balls. I'm assuming kicks him in the groin, and cuts him in the finger. They're about to get killed by this gang who are after Gordon. I do forget to mention though, first. When they start going this mission, that they get arrow shot at them, and Harvey's like, Jim, freaking arrows, But anyway, when they come across this outlaw gang, another gang shows up when Gordon's head. This lady tries to go up to Jim and get him, with her gun. And the way she looked though reminded me of Dawn the Dragon Wilson from Batman Forever, her makeup. But anyway, Gordon, she just walked with Gordon with her gun, maybe to attack or shoot him, or whatever, saying Gordon is mine. So Gordon just pops a bullet in their head. And then before they can get killed, though, Barbara shows up, and kills the gang. And she's like, "You're welcome." And they take the kids back to safe haven, place haven, safe for the kids, and Barbara is pretty much determined to get revenge. After burying Tabitha at the Sirens Club, giving her a memorial that she swears Penguin will die. Nigma, meanwhile, in the episode, realizes he's kidnapped a gangster who's working with the street demons. Been working with the street demons, so that he's trying to figure it out. He tortures the man again, says, "What did you tell me?" And they realize that the street demons have been slaughtered, a lot of them murdered, and they said Penguin was here. And that's the end of that episode. Alright, just press now. Penguin, no thread of mine is called Penguin, our hero. Selena, she escapes from the hospital, or from her hospital bed. I see her just going up on the building and prepare to get revenge on Jeremiah. Bruce decides he helps her, but tells her, we're going to do it my way. We're just going to have arrest him, or he can have a trial. But Selena really intends to kill him. Selena and Bruce talked to this guy who said that he was the Dark Zone and said people are crazy though. What they did to my friend, you see a lot of these cut marks on his chest and stomach. So her and Bruce go to the Dark Zone. They get into a fight with this gang. One of the characters reminds me from Dark Knight Returns movie, or the comic, or whatever. One of them looks like a mutant. And Selena fights them, takes them on. Bruce knocks these other guys out. Selena's got these claws, and she's trying to just beat him up, clawing him up to death. And Bruce is like, "Selena, enough." And then he, has a grapple gun, and Bruce shoots the grapple gun to get her to stop. Definitely the best part about this episode, though, is I do like the whole thing with them tracking him, and they eventually get in. Selena sneaks in and find out that Echo, who basically looks now like Harley Quinn, reminds me of it, that she's trying to make these people who want to follow Jerome, Jeremiah, follow him. She makes them play a little Russian roulette game where they all, 5 people, including Selena, stand together with guns, and they're pointing at their heads, and which is one bullet, and Selena survives it. Doesn't go away, but since Echo finds out, that she knows that Selena, that she's here, I'm gonna get revenge on Jeremiah. Selena figures that Echo was just insane, pointing a gun at her own head. She had a bullet in her right here. She's pointing this gun at Selena, and Selena's like, "If one thing you should know about me is that I hate guns being pointed at me." She really does hiss there. I'm like, whoa, that was pretty creepy. Selena did that hiss, but she knocks her, beats Echo up, nearly ready to kill her, and Bruce stops her, and she figures Bruce will get in her way, so she handcuffs Bruce to a wall, handcuffs his hand to a gate, just so he's staying out of her way. So she's gonna do it. She's like, "I'm tired of doing it your way. I'm gonna do this my way now." And Commonwealth's men end up defecting to Haven. You find out one of the street demons in this episode, they try to come and kill Penguin, but they fail miserably, and Penguin, has them chained up. Penguin wakes up one morning, finding that his dog and Mr. Penn and all his men are gone. He's like, "Mr. Penn, where the He's about to say, and he asks his Helga, his maid, where they at. They defected. He's like, "No!" And he wakes up the street demon. He's like, "You're going to help me out." And he wants his dog back, so he goes to Safe Haven, to Haven. Penguin, Jim Gordon's like, you're not going to do this. They're going to test him out with bullets. It says, I bet you use all that ammunition up now, Jim. They test them, except for some of the men, but they do run out of bullets, run out of ammunition. So Penguin, goes to lock Jim Gordon up, but the street demons, kill Mr. Penn, shoot him, and put Penguin in a cell. So now him and Penguin have to work together, and they do. Penguin has, thanks to this kid, I forgot his name, the kid that he said in the previous episode, little boy that he helped out save his friends. That would come out by sneaking a key in there. Penguin and Jim have to do back to back, kind of like if you remember the movie Emperor's New Groove. They get the key, and they get these guns, and they take the street demon down, and everyone's like, Penguin our hero, Penguin our hero. Yeah. And afterwards, Gordon allows Coldwater just to go free. A friend mentioned Harvey goes to goes about Penguin. She's like, why didn't you say so? And she's like, thanks, Jim. And she's going to shoot and murder Penguin. And Jim stands over like, no, Barbara, don't. Like, don't make me shoot you. We're like, come on, Barbara, you won't do it. And next thing you know, safe haven with the people in it, like a little boy, boom, the building blows up. Somebody shoots a bazooka at it, a missile at it, blowing it, killing all the people, and then the episode ends there. But good episode in my opinion. Alright, then another favorite of mine is called Ruin. The next thing you know, after the destruction, you see people, waking up from the blast. Barbara has got a gun and ready to shoot Penguin. She's so close to shooting him, but she sees the people suffering and stuff, and she just walks away so as not to kill him. Jim, attacks Penguin's like, you did this. Like, no, Jim, I didn't do this. Why would I do this? I didn't really have no plan to do this. So, him and Coldwater decide to work together and to find out who was responsible for this. So Gordon is determined after these people are murdered, he promised would be safe from murder. Gordon, feeling guilty about it, decides that him and our Bullock need to investigate and find out who destroyed Bloodhaven. They eventually, Gordon and Penguin eventually started to work together. Much to Gordon's dismay, I guess you could say. And they go after, and they find Victor's ass, because he's a sniper up there and shooting. He's like, hey Jim, hey guys, how you doing? And Gordon's like, I can maybe go up there and chop one down and get him if you guys let me, take him down. Penguin, for about 30 minutes has all his men, and Harvey has the officers, them all shoot at the building that his ass is in. Gordon's able to sneak in though. I thought it was funny though, seeing his ass just standing there, and then as they're shooting him, you see he's got coke in his hand. He does this. Like he's okay with being shot at. His ass is crazy, of course, he doesn't care. But Jim is able to sneak up on him, eventually take him out. And they try to question him about what he did. He's like, Jim, if I had murdered these people, all those people, I would be checked. Y'all want to do a body search? Because when Jazz kills people, he marks it down on his body. That's how sick he is, basically. Gordon does that so she's to find someone guilt, but you find out that Zaz left the building or whatever, that he was not involved in it. But Penguin doesn't believe it, so Penguin says take the law into his own hands and have a trial, and basically they're going to murder him. And Penguin is able to get the people on his side that they need to kill his ass because Zaz is a murderer. But luckily, Gordon and Bullock end up saving his ass. And Penguin gets in Gordon's face and tells him, the people believe in me now, Jim. And Gordon just pushes Oswald. And I was like, I'm okay. And Zaz like just talk tough, like he's gonna kill Jim or whatever. Okay, well let's play a little. Well, let's try right now. You talk tough, Zaz. So why don't you try to kill me right now? He's like, really, Jim? You want to die? You want to try, Zaz? And Harvey's like gonna give him his gun because Jim asked him to do that, tells him to do that. And Zaz is like, another day, Jim. And then he just gives a leave. Meanwhile, Lucius ends up discovering Enigma, who's looking. He speaks into the GCPD to find his file. He wants to find something about this man. So him and Lucius work together, and do find out that Zaz was not guilty. Enigma learns that he has these numbers on his fingers. And it's apartment 1215 or something like that. And this lady tells him, she's like in a wheelchair, and she tells him, I saw you have a bazooka or whatever, a rocket, and you blew these people up. And I guess Enigma's side, Riddler's side, that control side of him saw it and wrote it down on his fingers, like, then he figures it out. And to shut her up, Enigma, takes her out the window with a wheelchair and kicks her. This I think was a homage. This had to be a homage to Batman Forever. You remember when Jim Carrey's Enigma murdered his boss, frantically by kicking him out the window and the wheelchair? I think that was kind of a homage to that. Yeah. But that's what, of course he does. Gordon, Jerry's sort of feeling guilty, he's just drinking. Barbara comes over just to talk. And she's kind of flirting with him a little bit, and they have a chat, and she's like, okay, I'm leaving. And then, he just grabs her, and they eventually start to make out, and Gordon and Barbara, do this. Meanwhile, Selena ends up following Echo. She pretends to be one of the workers. One of the workers in place, so Jeremiah kills him, has a little dance with Echo. But before he knows it, though, Selena has a knife. She starts stabbing him, and Bruce and them get out of there, and that's the end of that episode. Another favorite of mine is called Pina Dorari? I can't say it right. But Jim and Bullock are just trying to find out who was responsible for Bloodhaven. They try to ask this guy who maybe sells somebody a weapon, a rocket or whatever, a missile, whatever you want to call it. They're going to try to kill Gordon, and then you have these soldiers show up. One of them is named Edward Dorrance, a soldier who wants to work with Gordon, I guess in the military. Gordon, finds out that Nim had to do something with it, because they look at the paper, they write down their customers, and Edward Enigma was on there. So Nimbus has to go on a run. They try to arrest Enigma, him and Jim and Edward try to arrest Enigma, but Nimbus has a trap, and is able to sneak out of there. So Gordon has to save Aurora's life by sneaking around and getting it on the bookshelf and saving Aurora's life. Enigma ends up going to confront Cobblepot and ask him why did he try to kill him or whatever, and he's like, no, I was trying to help you. He was strange. He's the one that put something in your head, Ed. He's the one that did that. So he does go confront. Enigma does go confront. He goes Strange, and Strange's like, yes, I did put like a chip in your head, and then he like sprayed him or whatever, and just to fix up Enigma's brain. Gordon shows and Edward show up. And then, however, some spoilers, you find out that Eduardo is the one controlling Enigma, that he's working for Walker, who is this, I guess, military lady or whatever. I'll tell you something about her later, but that she's been promising to help them out trying to send the military to aid them. And of course that was Eduardo. But you find out Walker's behind this, that they have a plan, maybe a plan to destroy Gotham, and Eduardo's helping her out. I guess you can say Eduardo was maybe not that good of a guy, and says that he's planning to, help a murder innocent people, just a lost cause, not a big deal. He does not really care. And even tries to say, Jim, Walker wants to prove your loyalty. We don't have to kill you, Jim. You can help us. You can join us. And he says, all you gotta do is put a bullet into this cop killer's head. He's talking about Enigma, and he's like, nope, I refuse. Gordon's able to get away, jump down this chute or whatever, laundry chute, and then he's able to control Enigma again, and gives Enigma a gun, and sends him to go out and kill Gordon. Selena gets declared as a hero for killing Jeremiah, and then Barbara, they kind of praise her for her actions. But Jeremiah is apparently still alive, recovered with awakenings. You see him in the Wayne Manor, and that he's got these these kind of people do plastic surgery and make them look like, Thomas and Martha Wayne, Bruce's parents, and that he has plans for Bruce. So the episode ends there. Alright, another favorite of mine is called Stitches. Opens up with Gordon running from Enigma, who was of course trying to kill him. He's a fight with Enigma. And he uses like a hospital, I don't know, when they say clear, that's what we're kind of talking about. He uses it on Enigma's head. And he arrests Enigma and asks him what happened, and Lucius able to get the bullet out of him. And Bruce and Alfred are there saying that they can trust Enigma, that Eduardo's been doing this the whole time, that him and Walker are up to something. I like it though when Barbara and Alfred have this laugh where they're saying, wait a minute, he's not making sense when he can do it again, because in his brain he's not, as, when she's trying to work getting that chip out of his brain, they tease him by saying, make him say this, this scrappy stuff or whatever. So he starts speaking gibberish or whatever, which I thought was funny. They work together to practice evidence of Edward's criminal activities and take control of the GCPD. Jim has trouble. Barbara in the Sirens Club. Eduardo shows up. Saying, Jim, you can still join us or whatever. He's like, nope, never going to happen. And I do like the scene though when Barbara says to Eduardo, screw you. Eduardo, basically thinks that he has Enigma under his control. When Enigma tries to attack, he's looking, as they get a knife at Jim, he's like, because he's messing with him, he's like, he doesn't have me under control anymore. I think that happened at the beginning or whatever, but anyway, I like it though when Enigma, takes the butcher knife and he throws it and kills the guy in the head with it, and Barbara's got these guns in there, so they start shooting him down, which I thought was cool. And since they're on podcast, they said, Bruce goes up to the roof to broadcast, they said, to get it broadcasted, fights with the guy, which again I don't buy. While Lucius and Alfred stand there, and Enigma goes like in an armor body suit, bomb suit or whatever, to get, he does this riddle, plays sure Harvey's able to figure it out. They have another plan where they put this smoke out, and then you have Lee show up eventually. Eduardo takes her into custody, threatening to kill her if Jim doesn't want to come save her. So, as him and Eduardo face, they end up having a fight. Even when he's punching Eduardo just laughs. but Jim beats him by knocking him to a pipe, impels him, kicks him to this pipe, which impels his chest, killing him. Walker shows up at the end, promising, you'll be like a bane of existence or whatever, just to help him. Put his like mask on him, and eventually he'll become Bane. Takes him to Hugo Strange, of course. She has a backup plan, which is, we talked to say that it's been she didn't know it was 3 months. She didn't know what happened, that her and Ed stabbed each other, and Hugo Strange did that work on them. But you find that she has a chip in her brain too, and Walker activates it, and with the chip, Lee tries to kill, tries to attack and kill Gordon by going over and like knock her out to get that chip out of her brain. Meanwhile, though, Cobblepot and Selina end up teaming up because Cobblepot, goes in his basement and finds out this magpie, if I remember before the Batman, that character, is boom, 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 shiny, shiny, it's stolen from the Penguin, but she's able to get away from Penguin, and Penguin wants to go to Selina for help, and Selina's like, why should I help you? You murdered Tabitha. She made her bed when she murdered my mother, as Penguin says. So they help each other out. Magpie Travis is in this room, they have a talk, and he tells Selina that he has a bomb, not a bomb, that he's planning to leave Gotham, that there's nothing there for him anymore, so he's planning to get on the boat and escape. But it's hard to do that, though, because if they find out a little later, trying to get on to Gotham is really hard in the water, because there's bombs under there. But they do track down Magpie, they pull the trap on her, and Penguin just shoots her dead. He's like, this is what happens when you steal from me. Alfred ends up getting kidnapped by Jeremiah. Jeremiah just, says, thought you were dead. Like, nope, I want to use him. And he has Jervis Tetch, aka Mad Hatter, hypnotize him. And Barbara ends up, coming at the end, right in front of Lee and Harvey and Jim, saying, Jim, I just want you to know I'm pregnant. And then I like it when Harvey's like, congratulations, and it ends there. But that was funny. And then military reminds me what Ace Chemicals. On the anniversary of Wayne murders, Jeremiah, Bruce is worried about Alfred trying to find him. Bruce is just walking down the street, sees this newspaper of his parents' murder, sees it there, and then he sees these people that look like his parents. Follows them and ends up following them to this dark hole, with this hole that Jeremiah dug, follows it, and it leads to Wayne Manor. He's like, who are you? He's like, well, Bruce, we're your parents. He sees Alfred, we have a guest, and he's like, Jeremiah, you're alive. You can't really tell Jeremiah, and Jeremiah's like, I got control here, and I brought gifts, which are these bombs. But you find out it's this gas. They can either make people go crazy or insane. Kind of like Joker gas, if you will. Yeah. And basically, Jeremiah's plan is to force Bruce to reveal his parents' death because he believes that if they can't be friends or like brothers, that they're going to be hated enemies, and he's going to torture him, probably going to make Bruce go insane like he is. And, I like when Jeremiah, has him go to this theater where, these people that Trish Lady's parents are watching the Marco Zorro movie, which Bruce got scared. He's like, Bruce, I wonder if you didn't get scared, your parents would still be alive. Selina and Cobblepot. Selina and Penguin are still planning to escape, but when she runs into Alfred, after, he's able to snap out of it, the hypnotism, she runs to Alfred and is like, well, Selina, he needs your help. And Penguin tries to stop her, but she's like, I'll kill you, Penguin. And he's like, Selina, don't do it. So Selina, and you find out that Gordon and Lee are trying to investigate and look, even talk about, Barbara having a baby. Barbara, of all people, having a baby with her. They have as chemicals. They get captured by Echo, Harley Quinn, if you will, and Mad Hatter hypnotizes them, and they, become Bruce's parents. And he's going to kill them until, something shows up. Jeremiah says to run, and they go into Ace Chemicals, and him and Bruce just have a showdown. But the showdown ends with Jeremiah, of course, falling into a vat of chemicals. Doesn't kill him, just, changes his face, makes his face a little more grotesque, and he's just in a coma. Oh yeah, and Jeremiah kills the doppelgangers of his parents. But Jim Gordon, Bruce is fighting Jeremiah. Jim, takes the truck that has the gas in it, drives it in the river, because if they don't, the government won't consider Gotham safe, so they won't be helped or rescued. But Gordon's able to drive the truck into the river. Barbara ends up forming a truce with Coldpot Enigma, who, say, "You're pregnant." He's like, "Yes, I am pregnant." "Where you're going?" They plan to escape Gotham. They plan to build a self-built submarine. Well, Nimra's going to build it. And him and Ed said team up again. Be friends again. There's Ace Chemicals. Now, another favorite of mine is called Nothing Shocking. Yeah, Nothing Shocking. Coldpot and Nimmer, of course, working on the building the submarine. They get approached by Coldpot's accountant, Arthur Penn. Arthur says, "Hello, I was in the morgue, but I was trying to live, but I couldn't find you." He's like, but then you find out that something's really wrong with the man, that he's snapped. He brings up the dummy that is, of course, Mr. Scarface. Scarface, of course, wants, of course, I guess you can say he has a, Arthur, Mr. Penn has the personality disorder. And is kind of using the doll to do these talks for him and stuff, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, it's bizarre. Even Penguin has what the kind of a look. And they try to talk to Mr. Scarface, and Penguin's like, "Wait, I'm talking to a doll." And Nemo tries to buy some time. Eventually they over-attack Scarface down, and Penguin shoots shoots Scarface, blows his head up. And over, Mr. Penn's like, "Thank you, Mr. Coldpot." And Nemo shoots him in the head. I was like, "Hey, why'd you do that, bro? Who needs them or whatever anyway?" And I was like, "My friend, I don't want you to die or whatever." And they both just have a laugh. Meanwhile, there's this missing man that Bruce and Albert track down. This lady asked them for help. So they go in these sewers, which is pretty creepy looking. And you find out that this man was they do find her husband, but this guy's chasing him that went insane due to the chemicals that in the river that Jeremiah's chemicals made the man go insane. But they're able to beat the man, take him down. And another part of the episode, another subplot is that you have a lady named Jane Doe. Well, these two former GSPD officers are murdered by who looks like Dix, who is Gordon's, not Gordon, but Bullock's ex-partner Bullock. Harvey was, worked a case a long time ago when he was a rookie cop. Dix just, he has a knife and stabs these two guys, but you find out it's this girl named Jane Doe who's got this mask on. She was an Indian hill. Her mother was a murderer, or a serial killer. Harvey got her to confess, and let's just say what they did to her was very wrong, and she was sent to Arkham herself for it. She's in the Hugo Strange and tested on, and basically when she touches somebody, she can kind of like become them, basically, like a shapeshift into a person, which is really bizarre and crazy. But she kills the cop until, he sees the body. They arrest her, try to talk to her, and she's able to get her handcuffed eventually and pretends to be Harvey and talks to Dex and strangles him up, strangles him and murders him. She goes undercover as a barber, but it doesn't work because they find out the truth. And Harvey, who feels guilty about that, tries to talk to Jane Doe, tell her it's okay, Jane. She shows Jane her place like, this is going to end one way with you and me, Darren Harvey, and she's supposed to go. Harvey's like, Darren Harvey, with no choice, in self-defense, kills her, Jane, in self-defense. Well, killed her abusive father, I mean. Yeah. But it was a good episode in my opinion. I do like that it focused on Bullock and a bit of his past, because Dix was a character that was introduced in season 1 in an episode called Spirit of the Goat. So it's always cool to hear about Harvey's past. Anytime they do that, it's really just interesting. So, yeah. Okay, guys, just a couple more episodes. And another favorite of mine is called The Trial of Jim Gordon. Gordon, thanks to the help of Penguin, facilities from a city hall to put their differences aside from killing each other and to survive. Gordon ends up getting shot, like right in the stomach, passes out. They take him to Lee so she can get the bullet out of him. And Gordon has this kind of life flash before his eye death experience where he's in a courtroom and a version of himself is like saying it was Jim Gordon's fault. He murdered all these people. He was his little boy, and he even sees like his own funeral wake where even like some villains over there like Catherine from the lady that leaded the Court of Owls, and Professor Pig from season 4, and some other cops and villains, including Penguin and Enigma singing "He's a Jolly Good Pharaoh" or something like that, whatever the song was. Bullock discovers that Zaz, that it was Victor Zaz that actually had a sniper and shot, Gordon. He thinks it's Penguin at first, but it wasn't Penguin. He even once he keeps Barbara like, it wasn't me. Why would I kill my baby's father, my baby daddy, But you find out that Zaz is being mind controlled by Ivy, who has this plan again to, I guess, get revenge on Gordon or whatever. And eventually she comes and gets Zaz out of there, and Zaz starts shooting at the cops until Bullock wears the armor suit, the bomb suit, and attacks Gordon. I mean, not attacks Gordon. Attacks Zaz and knocks him down. He tells Ivy about Ivy's plans. Like, I probably shouldn't have said that, but oh well. Ends up shooting back at him, which I thought was funny. She seduces Bruce, who Bruce is going on a date with Selena. And she says to attack Selena, and basically, you get the mutant leader, I guess, guy trying to attack Selena again, but then Jeff will take him down. She has to go fight Bruce, who Bruce is under this mind control, and Ivy, Bruce like sprays Lucius with this gas, and they're shutting down wire pipes or whatever. She wants to rid Gotham of their plants. But Selena ends up freezing them, stopping the shutdown and stopping this from happening. She tries to kill Gordon, but she fights Lee a little bit. I'm talking about Ivy, but she shoots Ivy or whatever in self-defense, and Ivy's and there's needle that could save Jim, but Ivy destroys it. But Jim, strong enough, ends up coming out of the coma, comes back to life. And Gordon, of course, he was strong enough to go because he wanted to live for Lee and for his, baby being born. And at the end, Gordon and Lee, I forgot to mention, they do have an argument in the episodes, but they do share a kiss, hinting that they were back together. Gordon and Lee wed, which was a nice wedding though, and The only thing I didn't like about it, though, because we look really beautiful in her dress, and they have their wedding at the GCPD. The only thing I like when Boyd has to mention, that time you had the tech virus and you try to, bury him. I didn't like that, so really bad you had to bring up season 3. My least favorite season of Gotham. But anyway, it's nice when they share a kiss, Bruce and Selena share a kiss, and I like the look on Lucius and Alfred's face is like, Barbara, who's disappointed about it, she says escape Gotham, and Chris Cole convinces her, well, he'll see you as nothing but a psychologist. So she, is able to tell Cole about Nemo, I'll come with you. And the episode ends there. And then my next favorite one is called, there's three more episodes, is that I Am Bane. No, I'm not Bane, never mind. I'm just kidding. I Am Bane. This is where the government approves the mainland and it sends the military in, but you see that water after being, and held by the pipe, that Gordon, he goes strange doing some work on him, and these side effects, he puts venom into his body. I believe it's venom. Yes, drug venom, which, thank you. This definitely, I like this version of Bane. He doesn't sound like Sean Connery, and unlike The Dark Knight Rises, there was no venom in The Dark Knight Rises. This is definitely, this actor who played him, though, I think it was Shane West, his name. Yeah, he's definitely a lot better, way better. This, to me, is the best live-action version of Bane. My only issue is that he's a lapdog. I wish, I'm okay with him giving Bane an identity, but I'd rather them, have him be a hitman, maybe come after Gordon. That part would have been better. But I could agree with Bane being a little shoehorned in here, as they do with most of the villains in this show, just shoehorn them in here. But anyway, she's like, you're Bane of Existence, you're Bane now. But Gordon is about, they're doing his unification day and Gotham's gonna go back to normal. This channel shows up, but Bane, of course everyone don't call himself Bane, shows up with his men, kills some men, and takes Jim and General Ambrose, kidnaps them. And, Bane talks to Gordon, he's like, oh, what have you done this for? He's like, Jim, there is no more. And he doesn't talk like Sean Connery, or, and again, Batman and Robin, Dark Knight Rises, Bane sucked in both movies, but he's better here. And it looks very intimidating and more scarier than, it looks a lot better. The sound is much better than Tom Hardy's, who looks like a Mexican wrestler. And no venom, so that makes the character pointless in that movie. But unlike Batman and Robin, he's like, blah, blah, all the time. Where he sounds like a, just a big doofus with strength, and Batman and Robin he was. But Bane, tells him, there is no more Eduardo, Jim. There was only Bane. And that he believes he's doing for a good cause, that Gotham is just unfinished, but they're doing the right thing, as they believe. And you find out that Walker really is Nasa Al Ghul. She is the daughter of Rachel, not Talia, but Nasa Al Ghul. And she plans to continue her father's legacy to destroy and perish Gotham. They even, Bane beats up Gordon a little bit. They're going to go kill Gordon, or, Hugo Strange is going to do some test on him. Till Bruce ends up getting out of it. He's got his hand set up, but he's able to get to this candle and lights up the rope, escapes. They save the general as well, but you find the general has got a chip in him too. As, Nasa, Ogo, she let them escape. So she gets an airstrike, destroy Gotham. And before when the rest of the airstrike starts to happen, and they prepare to destroy Gotham. Meanwhile, Bane himself is sent to kill Barbara. Walks in the hospital, blows up, walks in the nurse is like, you can't come in here. He snaps her neck, says, Barbara Gordon, I'm coming after, Barbara Keene, I'm coming after you. I do like the scene with her and this is where Lee and Barbara and everybody start to get along, despite, her trying to kill her. Lee becomes her doctor, and she assures her that, Jim will not let her leave, or will not let her leave, but won't, she's of course the baby's mother, and she will continue to be in Jim's life now. But, I like the scene though where Lee and Barbara's like, telling the baby, this is your Aunt T. Lee, I try to kill her or whatever they laugh about, which I like that moment between them. Kind of becoming like good friends eventually. But then you realize when they were together, when Barbara's in the wheelchair and Barbara's got her 2 guns, and she's like, she's shooting guys down. I thought that was cool. Alfred and Selena end up fighting Bane, but Alfred, who's no match for Bane, eventually gives him a good beating. As you say, breaks his back. Well, picks up Alfred and hits him on a pike. And knocks Selena out. And then the episode ends there. So that's I Am Bane, the episode, in my opinion. Alright, another favorite of mine is called They Did What? Following the city's bombing, refugees retreat to the GCPD. Bane takes command of the military. One officer who doesn't agree with it, Bane just snaps his neck. Anyone else want to say something? They do this to Bane. Are they going to follow him? Out of fear, you can say. Cobblepot and Nimrod decide to remain in Gotham, while Penguin does that first saying, this is my home. I'm not going to be far away while it's destroyed, so he says to leave his dog over, say goodbye, and say, Ed, just take care of my dog, okay? Ed just has to come too. And I like to go and scene where Jim and Penguin are talking, saying, I told you I was working on walls, you were right, And like, Gotham is in my blood, in my veins, this is my home, I'm not going to let it be destroyed. NASA ends up kidnapping, Barbara and her baby. Selena retrieves Lee, and, was like, oh my god, what's going to happen to Gotham now? They both leave the sirens to go back to the GCPD, I believe. Bruce decides that he needs to use one of Jeremiah's bombs to destroy Wayne Enterprises, their headquarters. So the military advances. He tells Selena about one of his memories as a kid, but they blow up Wayne Enterprises. Of course, it'll be rebuilt, but it takes over down buildings so that the military can't do much about it. Gordon says that he'll have the help of Penguin. So this, in the beginning of the first episode, you had Riddler, repairing, and Penguin, and Jim and them walking. It's just nice to let them walk them with their guns. And this is where they go face the military, and they go up to Bane. Bane's like, fire on my command, and then they just say, I like when Jim says, for Gotham, and they start shooting. During this war, though, Penguin gets his eyes, because he says something to Bane, but Bane throws this grenade, and it, hurts those little eyes. Nearly blows his eye out almost. Yeah. Bane, he just gets injured. He lives though, his eye is just very injured. Gordon, meanwhile, ends up going to rescue Barbara and the baby from Nassau Ghul. He tries to fight her, but she does kick his ass. But they're able to eventually take her down, and Barbara stabs her, for even trying to hurt her baby. And Gordon gets to hold his baby for the first time. That was a good special moment there. And they decided to name her Barbara Lee Gordon a little later on. And of course, she would eventually in the future, as you can say, become Batgirl, Oracle. Nessa gets General Wade to kill himself, and she escapes by stealing the submarine. You can hear Penguin's dog Edward, the bulldog, barking, and she's like, that bitch was right. They're leaving. So NASA escapes. And the final standoff the GCPD has with the military, they turn on Bane. Bane gets defeated. Well, Bane tries to take on, fight Selena and Bruce, but Bruce is able to get this signal on the Bane's back, and he gets these bats to attack Bane. But Bane, the crowds, people, Gotham, all of them, which I thought was an awesome moment, stand up to Bane, and the military turns on Bane, and Bane, of course, gets arrested. Afterwards, they realize, Jim ends up becoming commissioner of the city. Commissioner Gordon, and Bruce says to leave Gotham. Before that, though, Enigma and Cobblepot plan to eventually take over the city. They give each other a hug. You think they have these two knives out, they're going to stab each other, but, like when Edward says, I feel nothing, I don't feel pity for these people. I used to be like them. I feel no pain for them, no remorse. They will bow down before the Riddler. And they said they're eventually going to take over the city and make it Gotham theirs. Bruce departs from the city, promises to return, but leaves Selena a note to say goodbye, but Selena sees him flying in the plane, and Bruce leaves, and then the episode ends there. Okay, guys, now talking about the final episode of Gotham, no very magical at the beginning, which is the final season of Gotham. And Bruce decides to leave Gotham, to become the man that he was meant to be, the vigilante that he wants to be. But in order to do that, he has to go get training. He has to leave Gotham for a while just to prepare for this, for what he's got to do. You see Bruce in the beginning, like he's that letter from Deborah, he's on the ship, and he's like, Alfred, I'll return. You won't see me for a while. But then, you see Gotham City 10 years later, after the No Man's Land incident, you have 10 years later. You have Jim Gordon, Commissioner Plano. Gordon has been commissioner for 10 years. He's got this mustache, but just for a little bit in the season, but that was cool. He plans on retiring, quitting the force for good. Meanwhile, Penguin and Riddler have been in Blackgate, been in prison for a decade. Mayor Albert James even tries to convince Gordon, you can't retire, we need you here. Jim, the people still like you, you've given our city hope. I like seeing Ed in prison. Ed's like, he found out that Bruce was coming back, Bruce has been here 10 years, wow, he's coming back. I worked with him, fought with him. Even, Jeremiah, who has got more like a Joker face or whatever, that, you can stab him, he's catatonic. His brain is he's just brain dead completely. But Nigma gets kidnapped by these people. A letter from Oswald giving him C4 bomb to destroy Wayne Tower, and he gets a new Riddler suit, which I like, with sunglasses. Bullet hat still, but a jacket with question marks all over it, green question marks all over it. And Echo eventually, Harley Quinn frees Velasco. Nigma and Bullock says to go search for Nigma, but he encounters Gordon and hands him the phone. This Gordon ends up killing himself. Bullock gets framed for this murder. He won't tell Jim who it is. He's like, I'm telling you like it is. I shot an armed prisoner. But of course, the precinct doesn't believe that Harvey did this. It's just being set up. Gordon ends up encountering this vigilante, dresses as Bat. Of course, we don't really see Batman toward the end of this episode, but, Batman saying, I'm not your enemy. And, Gordon doesn't really know if he can trust the vigilante, but realizes that he didn't kill those people. Of course, Batman is a detective investigating, so. Coldport tries to kill Gordon out of revenge for a decade earlier. Takes him to the pier where they were many years ago in the first season. And Jim says something, then, jumps in the water real quick. And Penguin's like, and Penguin is changed too. He's a lot more fatter, as usual, Penguin is. Purple jacket now and glasses, the way Penguin usually looks. at the galley as they're waiting for Bruce to show up. That was Cameron, I forget the actress's name, and it was David Moore, I forget his name, but the actress who played Bruce, the young Bruce and Alfred, the young Bruce and Selena, that was their last time on the show. Because now you have the adult Selena, Selena is a cat burglar, now. Robin Selena, she feels that Bruce is like watching her, I can tell. And she tells Alfred, why did he leave me? Why did he do this? And like, well, Selena, he had his reasons. But she sees Nigma up to something. Nigma has kidnapped R.B. James. And is planning to set these bombs off in Wayne Tower. But Selena and Barbara stop him. Oh yeah, they do a deal on Barbara Lee. Jim spent time with he gets to spend a lot of time with. You see him talking to Lee Tompkins, who her hair changes like a little bit. They find out Nemo plans Low Tower, but you find out there's a second bomb. Somebody's planning this. That it was not Oswald, actually. Lee Tompkins defuses the bomb before it blows in time. And Gordon realizes that Velasquez is nowhere to set up Nigma and friend Bullock. Nigma and Copeland end up escaping because they're going to go back to prison, but they escape, and they get captured by the vigilante, hung up on the string, which I thought was pretty funny. Lucius and Albert talk, well, why doesn't Bruce tell, because I'm assuming Lucius knows that Bruce is a Batman as well. Of course, I think he would know that. But I was like, well, whoever he wants to share his secrets with, on this journey with, is up to him. So we're not going to tell Gordon. And meanwhile, Velasquez ends up kidnapping Gordon and Barbara's daughter. Barbara Lee has her, Echo ends up dying because she's going to get shot, but Jeremiah, tells her, I don't need you anymore, there's other fish in the sea, so we shoot her, and she just smiles her own smiley blood and dies. Barbara tells, Gordon to go after her, please, go stop him. Where he was born, that was Ace Chemicals. And he's like, Jeremiah, don't call me that anymore. I need Jack, something. A beautiful new name, something wonderful. They couldn't use the name Joker though, because the Joker at all. I think it was like a copyright issue, but at least this was 2019, so we had the Joker movie that came out this year, so at least you had that. But since it's owned by Warner Brothers, this was Fox, I guess Warner Brothers did not allow them, or it would have been a lawsuit, I guess, over it, but eventually, the vigilante or Batman shows up, see him, he, stabs Gordon because he's got, probably tied up on the rope, and he's trying to save his daughter from getting that chemicals. Vigilante shows up, and even hits him with a batarang, when he hits his arm with it. And Jeremiah sees that Bruce has become, eventually, the Dark Knight of the city. But when he hits him with a batarang, and Jeremiah's like this, and gets knocked out. He fell on the phone that Velasquez also was he was faking brain death, waiting for Bruce's return. Bruce reconnects with Selena and apologizes to her for what he had to do. He's like, now, listen to me, Selena. Put the diamond back, and Selena, who, for her, it's a thrill of Robin stuff. That's who Catwoman basically is. And she's like, what? And when Bruce leaves, she's like hell, and she just takes off. I guess you can say to go do the next robberies or whatever. Continue the thrill of the chase. Nigma and Coldheart end up escaping. They said, we're not, Oswald was like, I'm not afraid of a man in a batsuit. We'll not take my city. We're going to take him on right now. And then they see Batman jumping up on the rooftop. It's like, Alfred and, Nigma and Coldheart said, Burglar and Penguin say, yeah, tomorrow, yeah, let's get out of here before that guy gets us. And they take off right away. They're scared. Then you have Gordon, who he says against his retirement, not going to do it. They turn the searchlight on, and they see the vigilante. They say, where there's, where the darkness is, there is light, as episodes I'm used to that I mentioned Bruce a long time ago. And Gordon declares, they say, who is it? Bully says, and Gordon's like, a friend. And then the last shot of Gotham goes up and you see Bruce. Finally we see Batman at the end, but that's okay. That was a perfect ending, just Batman standing there on the rooftop. And that of course will be the best signal now that he is the Dark Knight. And being easy, we see Batman on the rooftop just standing there, and really cool looking. And that's the end of Gotham. So, Alright. Alright guys, well, that was the last episode of Gotham. Hope y'all enjoyed me talking about the TV show Gotham. Give my final thoughts on this season real quick is that season 5, like I said, not perfect. There's some issues. I do like what they did with Bane, but I feel like he was a bit shoehorned in here, and I'd rather have him as a hitman and give him I don't think Bane should have, an alter ego. Bane, I think, was raised in the prison. I think you could have just done that. Just add him in here. That would have been better, I think. But still, the actor, Shane West did a good job. I like Nessa Al. It's kind of the same thing that we've done at Rise. When Dark Knight Rises, I didn't find myself bored. I thought it was interesting. The action was good. Penguin and Riddler really good. I just don't, again, I don't buy Bruce being like 18 and kicking ass. Like, no, he's not ready for that. But it's awesome to see Batman at the end. I like seeing Gotham 10 years later. And eventually, seeing the future of Gotham, of being Batman, protecting the city. And crime not taking over anymore. But it's a really good ending to Gotham. I think 5 seasons were good. This is a really good season. I'd probably put up as my 3rd favorite after season 1 and 2. If I were to rank the seasons of Gotham, I would say my best or worst. I would say season 1, season 2, season 5, season 4, and season 3. Our favorite or least favorite, that would be it. But that's my ranking of the Gotham seasons. But anyway guys, that was my thoughts. So favorite episodes of Gotham season 5. Good final. I give it 4 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up for Gotham season 5. So guys, tell me in the comments down below, what did you think of Gotham, the 5th and final season 5, the 5th and final season of Gotham? What did you think of this season of Gotham? Did you enjoy this final season? Let me know in the comments down below what you think of it. And I'm probably going to be doing a tribute video here in a bit for a Batman actor who just passed away, who voiced Batman, which we'll get to that in that video. But I just wanted to pay tribute to this actor, which I'm going to do here in a bit. Hold on. Alright, now that I am done with Batman Phase 2 of the Batman Marathon, which was the Batman TV shows ending with Gotham here. And now since I finished with Gotham, next we'll be getting into Phase 3 of my Batman Marathon. First was the live action, the Batman movies. Phase 2 was the TV shows. Now Phase 3 is going to be all the Batman animated movies. Batman standalone, no Justice League, no Superman Batman movie, just Batman standalone movies, and that's it. Just Batman standalone, and that's it. Alright, first we'll be talking about the 1993 classic film, which is a bit underrated. Great movie. And I will be reviewing next, maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow. I don't know, probably tomorrow. But anyway, guys, I will be reviewing maybe tomorrow, tonight, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So stay tuned for tonight or either tomorrow. So the first Batman animated movie, I believe the first DC animated movie, I believe. Well, yeah. But Batman Mask of the Phantasm, this will be next. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So starting with the Batman animated reviews, we'll be starting with Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So stay tuned guys. Thanks for watching, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Gotham Season 5 in the comments down below. And stay tuned for my review for Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So that'll be next. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye.